Yes, gang, it's right. That's right. It's Poppy's other workshop.
And straight after that, we've got Poppy. If you haven't seen Poppy's channel, go and check him out too. He's good for a chat, he's fun, and he makes cool stuff.
Hey, gang, it is Poppy's other workshop. Now, I was thinking for the last couple of weeks about something I could make. A friend of mine, R. Stephen Lang at Shark River Machine Shop, that's a YouTube channel, demonstrated a laser center edge finder he had. That solved a problem for me. But in talking with Stephen, he commented that picking up the edge of something wasn't working too good for him. And it was grinding in my head. I'm going to have some black plastic left over after I do this thing with the motor speed control from my shear line lathe. I came up with the idea of quarter by half-inch black Delrin and sandwiched right there, and you see the red line there. You can just see that red line. Okay, that would be a sheet of a piece of aluminum foil, good old Reynolds wrap, sandwiched between these two pieces of black plastic. Okay. It would sort of look like that, with the aluminum sandwiched right there. Okay. This would allow me to put this part of the device against a square, rectangular, anyway, polygonal form on the milling machine. This part here, this part would stick up. My laser could put the red dot right on the aluminum foil. Let's draw this. This red line aluminum foil. That way, I could walk my laser beam until I got it in the middle of the aluminum foil. Now, common aluminum foil is 3/1000ths of an inch. That's common for aluminum foil. At most, if I had my beam centered in the aluminum, and my laser center edge finder will put out a 1/1000th of an inch red dot. Wherever I choose to be, X marks the spot. I can, as much as 3/1000ths away from this edge. Now, for most purposes, you know, thousandths of an inch is really, really close. Only maybe John Grismo's knives would sneeze at 3 thousandths off this edge. Or, you know, so that'd be really close. Then I got thinking, the same idea, black Delrin, quarter by half. I could order a 6-inch piece of it from McMaster Carr real cheap. The shipping would be more than the cost of the plastic. And I said, hey, a piece of white 1,000th of an inch shim stock. You do not want to know how much the unobtainium, 1,000th of an inch white plastic shim stock. I did a Google search. I found 1,000th of an inch stainless steel. Well, that would work, you know. But it was a 4-inch roll, 50 yards of the stuff. When what I wanted was, at most, that much. That'd be enough to make 4 unobtainium. Now, I also had the thought of the black plastic rod milled in half and cut a piece here, take a piece of wire and glue that in here. That would stick out down here, come up to here, and then when I polished this surface, I'm talking a machine shop polish here, maybe down to 1,000 grit. Get a nice flat black with a little metal dot. I looked for 1,000th of an inch wire online. Ho, 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 ho. I mean, anything I could order for this, except for, you know, maybe a piece of Delrin, would be fantastically expensive because they'd want to sell me enough to make hundreds of them. When I want to make one. And you notice I've been drawing in multiple colors here. Now, this research I did looking for the wire, white shim stock, and all that, they're either unobtainium, meaning they don't exist, or they are so fantastically expensive because they want to sell me $100 worth when I need 1 cent worth. So when I do it, I think I will go back to my original, laminate some black styrene to make the thickness, cut this little piece here, and laminate a piece of aluminum foil in here. If I use insane adhesive and put it on just right, I think I can get a nice flat here without ripples, changing the dimension. Then rectangular part, rectangular edge finder attachment, so that let's use the red. I can walk my 1,000th of an inch diameter laser beam till it's right here. Now this is black and this is aluminum. The black should suck up that thin red dot, and I should only see it when I get here to the aluminum. And it would sort of be like that. Now, in steel, all I'd have to do is put a magnet here to hold it to the steel. Aluminum, brass, bronze, other materials, I'd either have to just change colors here. Are you gonna? Hey, I could tape this to the part. I know tape, it sounds cheap and all that, but for the short amount of time to walk the laser beam to there, it should hold. And if that sounds too cheap, there's always the rubber band. To hold it in place. Now, here we are. this right here as anyone will tell you, is a dangerous practice. I'll tell you personally, I know this, because the last time I ended up in emergency and took a helicopter ride to St. Helena and spent 2 nights there, I was thinking. I couldn't stop thinking about how pissed off I was because I couldn't get the brand new swamp cooler to work. Between my efforts and the efforts of the handyman, it just would not work. And things went wrong that shouldn't have. The Excelsior in the pads got sucked up and clogged the spider of the swamp. That had to be blown out. And the copper tube feeding the swamp had to be replaced. And the first guy to come and try and do it didn't bring copper tubing, didn't bring furls, didn't bring copper tubing furl nuts. He tried to attach a short piece of copper tubing to the end of the piece of copper tubing and scratched his head in wonderment why it would blow out and pump expensive water all over the side yard. It was Saturday, or was it Sunday? Saturday or Sunday. We'd been using the swamp. It was sort of fixed. Water would get in, la 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 la. Come to the evening time, I'd turn off the swamp and I had to run out and turn off the water at the faucet. I'm in the house 2 minutes. There's water going all over the yard coming out of the swamp. I about had an apoplectic fit. I was so pissed I couldn't let it go. So there was 2 emergency. And I was there till 11 in the morning, from 8 p.m. till 11 in the morning. Then they put me in the helicopter, flew me to St. Helena. Now, I've taken that flight 3 times before, always at night. At night, you don't see the ground. You see this car on the highway. Now, you get over the Mount St. Helena Palisades and you can see the lights of St. Helena Hospital. That's when you know he's going to turn to port and come into the hospital. During the daytime, it's an entirely different ride. You can see the ground. And if you know anything about helicopters, you can get really scared because you can see ain't a hell of a lot of places between Clear Lake and St. Helena where you can put a helicopter down if it loses power and has to auto-rotate. Yeah. So like I said, thinking is a dangerous practice. So be careful. If you're going to think, don't do it too hard. If your head starts to hurt, stop. And go back to your original idea. It was probably going to be the one you went through went with because you could do it. Oh, another thing. Delrin. All right. That's an acetal plastic. Notoriously hard to glue. There aren't many solvent type glues that'll work with Delrin. It's almost as problematic as Teflon. Now, Teflon is especially problematic for gluing because Teflon is no stick. And it's also pretty chemically inert to solvents. Now, my thought was if I've got black styrene with aluminum sandwiched in here, I could use insane adhesive, nice and thin. Epoxy, too thick, take too long. And of course, I wouldn't want to use a solvent type glue. Like model glue, either the thick gel type or the thin watery stuff, because the aluminum, it wouldn't stick to. It wouldn't solvent weld it. So, I will most likely be laminating some black styrene, make the raw pieces I need, then insane adhesive, a piece of aluminum foil between them. I'm not going to try and buy no stainless steel 1/1000th of an inch thick shim stock because I don't need 4-inch by 100 yards of the stuff. I found some white 1/1000th of an inch shim stock. Teflon, no good. I found some 1/1000th of an inch PVC, yellow, not what I want. I want either white, because white is very, very reflective, especially of laser, or aluminum. Either of them sandwiched between two fields of matte black styrene. My red laser light should be very precisely located on that line. Yeah. This has been Poppy's Other Workshop, talking about designing things and don't think too hard. Good night in California. Stay safe.